Recording. Recording.
Woo, that's hard to say. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and this is Regular Guy Training. So, today's focus is going to be on this magnifier right here. It's a 3-power magnifier from Primary Arms. And just how flexible it is. The review itself is going to be fairly short because a review on a magnifier is not doesn't require a whole lot other than does it work, does it not work, is the glass clarity there, and does it mount upright, that kind of thing. So, but I will say that this was also supposed to be like a 2-optic review. The other optic that was supposed to go in here was the SLX MD25. And yeah, you saw me read it off the side of the thing because I keep on forgetting the name of this thing. Here's the reason why I'm not doing a review on this optic specifically, like on its own. And suffice to say that, I don't like it very much. This thing has very, very short battery life. I mean, I would put a 2032 battery in here and it would last a couple of weeks max. Well, a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks, almost a month before the battery gave up. And they were brand new store-bought batteries, so it wasn't a me issue. And they were good batteries too. I tried I tried Energizer, I tried Duracell. Both have worked really good for me in the past, and it just didn't want to do nothing. So that's an issue as far as battery life is concerned, and as far as like red dot optics and that kind of thing. Even very short-lived pistol-mounted optics like the Acro, you can iron out a little more life out of them than that. So with the competition that's out, especially the really cheap competition that's out, comparatively speaking, like if you go to some of the older models of Hollow Sun and that kind of stuff, like the battery life is not even close. It's just much better. That, and if we're talking about a little bit about night vision, the glass clarity for this just isn't there. I have enough issues dealing with, glass, and glass. If the lens clarity isn't there on this, that's also a big no-go for me. And the last thing that, that I'm going to say as far as the night vision roll is concerned is that the reticle itself I don't exactly really like because it's pretty busy as far as that's concerned. I much rather like an EOTech XPS3 with a big wide ring around it and very, 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 very good glass clarity, and that 1-minute dot in the center, or just a dot that I can turn down or up based off of what I need. So that's going to go away. Not a big fan of that, but I am a big fan of this. I am a big fan of things that make my life a little more flexible without making it difficult. Right. So first and foremost, we go into the mount here, and yeah, there's quick release mounts and that kind of stuff that are out there. There are reasons for and against having this be, a thread-on mount versus a quick release mount. Me personally, I've been shooting rifle right-handed a lot, and you can flip the base on this one way or the other, by the way, to where it either rotates this way or that way. All it really changes is where the release is. If we're doing this for right-handed people, the release is going to be up front, so you need a little bit of space between your optic controls and that kind of stuff. But point is that if it's hanging off my body like so, it's not an issue. So that is a positive. Whether or not, I've been asked this already, whether or not this would work on a Unity mount, I'm not sure. And the reason why I say I'm not sure is while I'm sure that this goes off of current bases that are out there. I think this is an EOTech magnifier base. I'm not sure. But that said, I mean, the reason why I'm saying it, I'm not sure if that will work, is how like the Unity mounts fold their magnifiers down, and there is a ballistic range finding tree, a range finding tree that's in this thing. So I'm not sure if that will work just based off of the articulation of that, because how it comes stock with the stock mount, it flips out on one side, and then obviously you press this, fold it over here, and then you have the tree that's vertical, and you can see the numbers and all that stuff. So I'm not sure how that would work with a folding magnifier that goes up and down versus rotated out to the right or left. So I'm not really sure. As far as getting this centered on a dot, really no big deal at all. As far as adjusting the diopter and that kind of stuff, again, no big deal at all. Not too stiff, not too loose, works just fine for me. I can range find stuff. Eye relief is pretty okay. For an optic this size, you're going to have kind of a tight fit on the eye relief, but what is kind of cool about it is that compared to like this right here is good, but if I have to go over and use my regular optic, I'm not at weird extensions or anything like that to support it like I would have to be if I'm messing around with an ACOG that doesn't have a different kind of mount on it or whatever, because I know that other mounts exist to shove ACOGs further back. And the reason why I bring the ACOG up in the first place is, the biggest reason why people get ACOGs, obviously, is, the range finding tree that's in them. The Aurora that the Aurora reticle that Dimitri designed for the ACOG is a better version of, in my mind, the best version of ACOG reticles that exist. But the reason why guys get it mostly is, it's a magnified optic that they can also range find a little bit by using trees that measure across the shoulders and that kind of stuff. I get it, right? This is a similar take on that, only obviously the primary for you, the individual, would be, a red dot of some kind over just fixed magnification or variable power or whatever. The debate on magnifier plus red dot or variable power optic or fixed magnification and then an offset dot that's going to persist with lots of different people, and I'm sure guys are going to get into internet fistfights over it. I don't really care. Me personally, I understand, you got strengths and weaknesses for all of them. I tend to like this setup because, generally speaking, at regular rifleman distances, I can hit what I'm shooting at with a red dot. And if I got something that is camouflaged or small, like if we're talking, against humans, it's a face, it's camouflaged with, whatever, or difficult shading on a target or whatever that is. Sometimes, even at ranges that you should be able to hit unmagnified, it's better to have a little bit of magnification, and just having that capability there, it does help. The only thing that you really got to get used to, really, is, for instance, with the ACSS reticle, right, there's a little bit less guesswork. I like this matchup to where I don't have a busy reticle that I can use for night vision stuff as far as the dot is concerned and shooting passive, but, so I can roll that and do what I got to do with it. If I'm using this, though, during the day, occasionally you do have to just remember what your holds are going to be for those various distances, which means you have to go dope that stuff if you intend to shoot well at those distances. Because, I mean, again, you get this out, you range it and that kind of stuff, and it shows on the thing 600. You kind of need to know what your hold is for 600. And with just a regular dot in front of you, you have to have a little bit of experience to regularly hit at those distances. So, that requires some experience, it requires some training and that kind of stuff, but I personally don't find a big issue with it. Now, as far as, does it add a whole lot of weight? No, I don't really notice it because, if I'm sitting here messing around with a light and, a PEC 2 or whatever I've got out front, I'm used to weight being out front. Weight being added toward the rear is something that I'm not really bothered with. Now, as for guys that still care about mounting up irons to their guns and that kind of stuff, I can run around with a set of irons on this. I just have to scoot my stock in just a little bit because you have to dodge your iron with it, which it's not a really funky extension if you're in one stock length on it. And it doesn't really get obscured because there's just enough magnification to turn something like this or an M4 front sight tower into just, if you're really paying attention, you'll notice that the blur at the very 6 o'clock of the glass, because this mounts for lower 1/3 out the, this has a capability to go lower 1/3 mounting, I'm sorry, because there's little shims that you can add to it to get it that high. So that's all I really got. It works good. The big thing on it is, the big great thing on it is that I can range find a little bit. So if I'm doing a little bit of observation, if I'm making a range card or whatever, I can sit there and I can do other relative stuff, you know, like similar 18-inch measurements on like a vehicle, and I can be like, oh, it's that far away, and that requires obviously a little bit of, you know, a little bit of pre-knowledge of certain things, like, you know, how big is, you know, the rear window glass on, you know, 90s Corollas, for instance, and then you can extrapolate from there, right? But you can make little range cards based off of certain things, you know, like the, you know, local trees that happen to be similar in diameter, because a lot of them have a similar genus and a lot of them, you know, grow similar around. So you can do a lot of extrapolating and observation and range finding and that kind of stuff in a way that really does help you out. That's other than humans. It's nice to have that capability, and it's nice to be able to do that without other reticle stuff. Because if I'm just sitting here lining up stuff, and I'm like drawing up a range card, for instance, right? If I'm just doing that and I want to just see clearly, and I don't want like a TA34 reticle in my stuff, I can just turn that reticle all the way off, and I can just look. Okay, so that helps. You know, it makes it pretty easy to observe and do what you got to do, and it's very flexible, and then I can do other stuff than just shooting with it, which is very, very helpful. So that's it. Short little video on a magnifier that I really like. If you're on the hunt for a dot, the SLX MD25 is just not it. You know, keep on looking at that hollow sun that you were looking on, or aim point probably, especially if you're doing night vision stuff, or, you know, like Neotech EXPS3 or something like that, right? So that's all I got. Works good. Remember, guys, I have classes that are coming out. Haha, tricked you. I have classes that are coming, more on the way. I just put on a new Ohio class. You know, I'm getting ready to go to Louisiana very soon. I'm going to Ohio actually tomorrow. I have a vehicle class that's on its way, and I'm probably going to put a night vision class on the books fairly soon, because, you know, I've owned it. I've trained with it a lot. I have a lot of moving around in the dark and shooting experience with it. I've learned a lot of tricks, especially over the years. You know, I've been lucky enough, especially in my career, to have guys that actually knew their stuff and, you know, would teach little tips and tricks and that kind of thing. And I find myself in a lot of conversations with it all the time, and people have said to me over and over for years now, hey, you should do night vision. You should do that class. You should do that class. So I'm probably going to put a night vision class on the books fairly soon here, so you guys will see when that comes up. If you guys want to check us out, support us on Patreon, you can absolutely do that. You know, the guys that throw a couple of dimes at us every once in a while, it really does help out a lot. If you want to get something out of it, $41 a month gets you as much training as you want to. Aside of something like a vehicle class, where the logistics on that would kind of murder me if guys that were on basically a monthly membership program just kind of stack that. But that's really the only restriction that I have. That and private classes, but that's a little self-explanatory. And also, yeah, I do private classes, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, I'm not hard to get a hold of. Contact information is on the website. Links for all this are in the description below. Also, I'm finally taking the dive into doing a bunch of nerd stuff. I've wanted to do like a gaming channel for a little while now, and I'm finally working on it. I got myself an editor so that I'm not pressed in too many different locations. This is gaming related stuff, so if you're not about the nerd shit, then don't. do not participate at all, because we're going to go all the way down the nerd stuff. You know, like BattleTech stuff, which I'm a big, huge fan of, and I've wanted to do, you know, like silly shit on that for a long time. Halo, because I played that my entire life. Actually, we're finishing a video on the battle rifle, and it's as if, you know, we're people in that universe just doing gun stuff. By the way, if you made it to this far in the video, let me know in the comment section. So, you know, we're just throwing a hobby out there. You know, we're trying not to make it like a ton of work, but you know, it does require some. But so if you're interested in that, you know, there's a link to that channel in the description below. We're very early in the channel process. There's only a couple of videos up, but you know, that is what it is. And if you want to check us out on Facebook, you absolutely can. Again, all this is in the description below as far as links are concerned. And look, I appreciate you guys. Everything that we do, everything that we've done is, you know, because of you all, really. You know, the support is incredible. You guys are fucking psychopaths. And it really does help out. You know, obviously everyone took a hit over the last couple of years as far as their financials are concerned. I know I'm not posting as much as I used to as far as my videos are, but I've never been a spam channel, right? Especially with stuff as important as this. To me, I've never been a spam channel. I've never been the guy that just puts stuff out for no reason. I only put it out if I view it as helpful or important, really. So I'm never going to be the guy that just posts things just to post things, unless, you know, occasionally I will post like a little funsie video every once in a while, but, you know, I'm not the guy that is absolutely beset to certain schedules. And between all the work and all the career moves that I'm doing right now, if there needs to be a hit on something, it's going to be what has the least impact, and that unfortunately is the post schedule or frequency on the YouTube channel. But as I do that kind of stuff, I'm going to make sure there's still quality that you guys are used to. So I appreciate it, especially if you guys have hung around this long. And remember, regular guy's firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be